Hey guys, Ryan here at Signature Edits, and thank you so much for purchasing this Birth Photography magazine template. Inside of this video, I'm going to walk through from start to finish, setting up your very own template. It's pretty quick and easy once you know how things are organized, so let's get into it. Now, first off, when you originally purchased this template, you received a download link and you downloaded the template itself. It would have come in a zip file. See how it says zip at the end there? First things first, in order to open and use the template, we're going to need to unzip it. So on a Mac, that's as simple as just double-clicking on that, and you'll see that it's opened up this PSD file. We no longer have the zip at the end of it. And on a PC, it's going to be something like right-clicking and selecting where it says extract. Okay? Now, once you have that PSD file, it's not time to open it just yet. The next thing we need to do is download and install our fonts. So the download links are contained inside the PDF that also came with your guide. So you can select those, go to the websites, and download the fonts. To save us some time, I have them right here. And they also will download in zip format. So we're going to just double-click on these, or on a PC, we'll have to extract them by right-clicking. And then you can see I've got all of my fonts inside of each of these folders. So to install those on a Mac, it's as simple as just opening up the folder with the fonts inside, selecting all of the font files, and double-clicking. You'll see it opens it automatically in FontBook, and we just select Install Font. And now you can see that those fonts have all been added inside of our FontBook. It's really that simple. On a PC, the process is similar depending on your operating system, which version of Windows you're using. You'll just want to go and YouTube a tutorial if you need one, or it might, again, be as simple as just right-clicking on the fonts and going Install Font. So you go through all of the individual fonts, install them one at a time, and once that is finished, then you can open up Photoshop. If for whatever reason the fonts don't show up right away, all you have to do is just close Photoshop and reopen it, and hopefully by then the fonts will have been added to Photoshop's font book, okay? So once you have your fonts installed and you have your file unzipped, we're going to open it up in Photoshop, and the very first thing we're going to do is go File, Save As, and we're going to save it as a new template. So I'm just going to call it Ryan's Guide Template. That's because I want to keep the original in case I ever want to go back and restart, make a new magazine, new design, whatever it is, okay? So I've already done that. I'll just hit cancel, but you save a copy, and then you'll have this in front of you. Now, all of our folders, all of our files are over here on the right, but if we adjust things very slightly in our view in Photoshop, things will be easier to edit. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to select all of these windows that I'm not going to use. Color, swatches, close those. Libraries, close that. Adjustments, close that. You can see now I have a way bigger window here that I can look at all my pages, which are individually organized into their own folders. Okay, so let me explain how this is working and what's going on right here. You see these eyeballs on the left of all the folders? That's to show and hide each group. Now, every page is in its own folder. So in order to see the page underneath page 1, all we have to do is hit the eyeball next to that page. And now we see page 2 underneath. So think of these as a stack, a big sandwich, and what's on top is what we can see. What is underneath we can't see. So in order to show or hide a page, we'll just click those eyeballs and we'll go down page by page by page. Now to open up each page, all we're going to do is hit the little arrow next to the folder icon, and that will show us all the layers inside of each individual page. We can adjust them, edit the text, change the color, insert images, whatever we need to do inside of each page by doing that. Opening and collapsing our folders. So I'm going to get started by deleting this instructions page because we don't need it. And then we have our front page in front of us. Now you'll see there's no images in here right now. Don't be alarmed. The black is exactly where your image is going to go. So to do that, we're just going to go where it says image here. I've opened up page 1, the front page, and I'm going to double click inside of this little icon here. By doing that, it will open up this tab, and you can see that right here it just says image, there's nothing going on. Well, all we have to do is drag our image into this space, resize it the way we like, and it will automatically show up into this guide once we close the tab after we've saved it out. Okay, so let me show you, because that might not have made too much sense. I'm going to go back here. I've got all of my images, or an assortment of images others have taken, under this Photos folder. We're just going to find an image that looks like it would be a good image for the front page. So let's say I wanted to go with something darker. Maybe this one, okay? I'm going to click and drag that right in here. You can see it's automatically resized it to fill the page. That looks perfect. Once I've got it the way I like, I'm going to hit Command-S, Control-S on a PC, or File Save. All those will do the same thing. We'll just save it. You can see it saving. Now I can close that tab, and that image has automatically been added inside the guide. It's really as simple as that. Anywhere there is something that says image or photo, you just double click on the left inside of this little icon. That tab will show up, you drag your photo in there, and bada bing, bada boom, you have your image inserted. So that's the first page. Let's go ahead and show you how to edit the text. To do that, we do the same thing. We select the layer that we're looking to edit. So in this case, let's say I wanted to change Becca Parker Photo to Ryan Photo Co. or something like that. I'll just go ahead, double-click inside this text box, enter the text I like, and then click on my next layer. And you can see that the text has been edited just like that. Now we're going to scroll down here. That looks pretty good for page 1, so I'm going to go to page 2. Hit the eyeball on page 1 to hide it. Now we have a quote. I'm going to leave that for now because that looks pretty good to me. And here we have our welcome message on page 3. So you can edit the text any way you like. We can do things like change the font size and change the color. Let me show you how to do that. We're going to hit this little Properties tab. Then we're going to go where it says Advanced. And then we'll have this nice little A shows up as a tool now. And we can quickly and easily see what font we're working with when we select a layer, as well as its size, its spacing, its color, everything like that. So to change the color, we just hit here. And you might be very familiar with this already if you've used Photoshop in the past, but just to make sure you understand exactly what we're doing, I'm going to walk through changing all of these things. So let's say that I wanted to change this. And we will move this around. To move a layer, what we're going to do is select that layer after we've gotten out of the edit zone. So we're just going to click off of the canvas here onto any area here. And now you can see that it's no longer showing up with the cursor to edit the text. Well, now I can just select the layer, press V on my keyboard to make sure that my move tool appears selected, and then I can click and drag the layer anywhere that I like. This applies to text, to images, absolutely everything. So I'd move that wherever I like it. I could go in, customize this text however I want. One layer at a time, just select whatever layer I want, double click in there, and I can change the text. Perfect. And now our photos, we're going to double click here, go over to our images. And of course, this will be way faster for you if you already have images prepared. So I'd suggest just finding all the images you want in the guide, put them in a folder, and then it's really as simple as just selecting which one you want for each place. Save that, close that tab, you can see it's up there. Now the next image. Maybe we'll go with a black and white theme for this particular page. So I'll resize these. Now, depending which version of Photoshop you're using, you may or may not need to hold the Shift key when you resize. So in older versions of Photoshop, if you hold the Shift key, it will keep the same aspect ratio to the photo. If you don't hold the Shift key, it will actually do this instead and look really funky and weird. So make sure you're holding Shift on an older version of Photoshop. However, on the new ones, just to confuse us, they switch the shortcut around. So by default, it will maintain the same aspect ratio. And if you hold Shift, it will warp things. So just so you know, you may or may not need to hold Shift as you resize. Then press Enter once you're done and save. If you want to resize it again, just hit Command T or Control T if you're on a PC, and you'll be able to resize it again like that by hitting the Transform shortcut. Okay, save that, close it. Okay, that's number 2. Let's find another one. Another black and white, perfect. Now that one's not quite sized appropriately to this box, so I'm just going to press Command T and click and drag so it covers the entire canvas. Save that. And one more. So you can see how quick and easy this really is. It's super, super simple once you know how things work. It can be a little confusing at the start, but after you get the hang of it, hopefully it's designed to be super easy for people who don't have much Photoshop experience, kind of like myself. I started off hating Photoshop because it seems to make things way too complicated, but over time you get a little more used to it, and we've designed our templates to be super easy for people who are not Photoshop savvy. So that's page 2. Page 3, we're already on page 4. I'm going to edit these images. Now you can see I just opened that up, and this is a photo grid, so I'm not going to take too much time here. I'll just do it really, really quickly. We'll grab a few different images. Enter, save, close. So you get the gist of this. I think I might just skip ahead so you don't have to watch me do this one photo at a time. So you'd go through, you make your photo grid. If you want to delete pages or duplicate pages, that's super easy too. All you have to do is right-click on the folder area, and we can just duplicate that group to make another image gallery. So we could call it Image Gallery 2. And the one thing you're going to need to do is if you do this, all these images by default, if you change one of these, because we duplicated it, Photoshop is kind of trying to outsmart us and gets confused. Watch this. So I'm going to change this image. It's now this couple holding the baby, right? Now if I go over to image gallery 1, you'll see that it looks exactly the same. The man, the woman, and the baby are both in the same place in the gallery. So when you change one image, it will change it in both of these galleries. So in order to make that stop, what we're going to need to do is right-click on our layer, go rasterize, then right-click again and go convert to smart object, and just do that with all of the images. And that way they will be separate smart objects, and we can actually just select all of them, rasterize them all at once, and then turn them all into smart objects again. Right-click, convert to smart object. They'll be separate and no longer linked to that other gallery that we just copied it from. So that's how you would do that and duplicate a page. You can delete pages if you like. Simply select the group and press delete. It's really that simple. And if you want to change colors, let me show you how you would do that. So let's say that we didn't like the color of our background here. Well, that's super simple to change. We're just going to select the background, press U on your keyboard, and that is going to come up with this toolbar at the top. We've got a fill icon we can click on, and then we can select whatever color we want that to be. So I would just select the color. Let's say I want it to be red. There we have our change. Now if we want to adjust all our boxes to have that exact same color, well, I can just go over here, copy this number here, and then go to my next page, grab this color. We're going to go up here to fill, same thing, and just paste that in there. So on a Mac, that's Command V to paste, or you can go edit, paste, whatever works for you. That's the thing about Photoshop. There are lots of ways to do the exact same thing. Now, obviously, that doesn't look really great, but that's just how you would change the color. And if we want to change the color of our text, well, I think that's pretty straightforward too. All we're going to do, select the text, open up this text window, hit this color swatch, and we can change it however we like. Perfect. Nothing says classy like orange and red. Actually, that is kind of cool. Anyways, moving on, we are going to continue. I think you understand most of what's going on here. So you go through, you edit all the text, you adjust the colors as you like, and really, once that's done, it's pretty simple. We're just going to export a finished PDF, and we will be finished. So I'm just going to fast forward here and complete this guide using the exact same process that I've just shown you, and then we are going to talk about how to export it to a PDF. All right, let's do it. Now, just a quick note, when you actually select your images, you will have the best possible results with your guide as a whole if you select images that fit the same color theme and editing style. So you notice that in the pages that I've gone ahead and done so far, they all match. They have the same kind of color feel and theme. So whether that's all black and white or all kind of dark, moody, or just these earth tones, they're going to feel better if all the images match. Now let me show you this image gallery here. I have 2 images that are black and white and the rest are in color. This will feel a lot better if I take those images and I make them all color or all black and white. Better. Now, one other thing that I didn't cover is there are lots of image placeholders inside of this guide. So I have 4 for every single testimonial here that I need to find images for, and maybe I don't have that many in my portfolio. It's better to use the best images you have than to show a bunch of images you're not super proud of. So what I'm going to do is maybe just remove a few of those placeholders. It's really simple. Just go in here and see Photo Top, for instance. I can just hit delete after I select that layer, and it will delete that right out of there. So you don't have to have images on every single page if you don't want to. If you don't have enough images, better to use the best images in your portfolio than to stretch things too thin. So that's how you delete those. One last little tip, if you have images that you really love the actual photo itself, but the edit just isn't working, you can go ahead and turn those photos black and white. So you can just select it, go Image, Adjustments, let's go to Hue, Saturation, take our saturation all the way down, and now we have an image in black and white. We can even add a little bit of contrast by going up to Image, Adjustments, Contrast, and take that contrast up a little bit. Perfect. Now we have an image in black and white, and I can do the same thing with the one on this side just by selecting that filter, and I can actually hold Option and just drag it onto that other image, and we'll copy that filter over, and now we have both in black and white. You can see it's just a little bit more cohesive. Maybe those images weren't the right fit for your particular design. Well, that's super simple. Just go over here and adjust them to black and white. Depending on the image, you actually might find you want to make these images larger on each page as well. So we would just hit Command-T on a Mac or Control-T on a PC. We drag the corner of the image and we resize it however large we want it to be. We can grab that one, make it that big. Grab this one, Command-T, Control-T on a PC, I believe, and make it as big as we like. Okay? Last of all, you might find that sometimes the image on a full-page image testimonial is just not dark enough. Your text isn't showing up. So how do you make the text more visible? Well, the easiest thing to do is just go down to where it says background here. We're going to drag that background layer above the photo. Okay, now you see we have this beautiful bar. We're going to resize it, hitting Command T or Control T on a PC. We'll just click and drag so that it covers the entire image, and then press Enter. Now we're going to go up to the top of this bar here where it says normal, the blend mode. We're going to switch that to multiply. Okay, so far so good. It's a little darker, a little yellow. We're going to double click inside of this box, and then we can select whatever color we want. We're going to go with a dark gray. Now you can see that as we select darker colors, it's going to make our image darker and darker and darker. So you can just select something that makes your text stand out very nicely. I like that. And we're good to go. With all that out of the way, now let's talk about how to export to PDF. The next step that you need to take is you need to go to File in Photoshop and Save As again. We're going to save it. We're going to call this one Ryan's Exported Guide. Now the reason that we're doing this is very important, is we do not want to lose the ability to edit this guide template later on. So we need to save a copy before we go forward to the next step, all right? Save that copy now. Once you have done that, what we're going to do is select the very top page here. We're going to right-click. Then we're going to go down to the bottom where it says Merge Group. And you'll see that when I do that, it's taken this entire folder full of layers and turned it into one single layer, one image that is the entire page. We're going to do that with the rest of these pages, one at a time, okay? So just go through, right-click, Merge Group. And this takes about 30 seconds to go through all of them. And once that's done, your template should look something like this. Now we're going to go up here, we're going to save again, and that's why we saved a copy before, because if you did that and you hadn't saved a copy, you would have actually deleted all of the ability to make changes to these pages later on, and that would really suck. Now we're going to go up here where it says File, we're going to go up to Export, and then we're going to select Layers as Files. First, we're going to have to select all of these pages here, so select the bottom one, hold Shift, and click on the top one. Now we've selected all of them, File, do that again, Export, Layers to Files. Now we're going to select where we want them to go. So we'll just go here and we'll make it on our desktop, Ryan's Guide JPEGs. So what Photoshop is going to do is it's automatically going to go through every single one of these photos and it's going to create a JPEG. Once we select JPEG, that is, we're going to hit a Run. And you can see Photoshop is going through one at a time and saving each of those pages out as its own JPEG. Perfect. One more step to create our PDF. We're going to close this file now. Go up here to File, Automate, PDF Presentation. Now we're going to browse and select our files over here. They're on our desktop now. Select all of those. Click Open. We want a multi-page document. We're going to click Save, and it's going to come up with some other options. So we'll call it Ryan's Guide. Then we're going to go to PDF preset. We can leave it on highest quality if you're planning to print this guide. However, if you're not planning to print it, we're actually going to adjust it slightly. We're going to go to compression, going to image compression. We're going to probably set that image quality to somewhere around medium, and we can take this pixel per inch and set that to 72 because we're not actually showing it for print. We're just going to be exporting it for a PDF to email to our clients. Great. That looks pretty good. So we'll save that to PDF. And Photoshop, again, is going to grab all of those JPEGs we just saved and put them all together into a nice PDF for us. So now that it's thought through all of that, we're going to open it up in Finder and see what we've got. Looking good so far. So here we go. Now you can see that the text in this particular PDF is not looking as sharp as I would like it to be. So if that's the case, I would go back and maybe I would dial back the compression a little bit and see how that works. Let's actually exit this and just see the size of this PDF. How small are we? We're 1.5 megabytes. So that's pretty small. That's why the text isn't looking super sharp, so we can try that again. We're going to reopen our exported guide file. Then we're going to select all those layers, File, Export Layers to Files. And this time, under the compression settings, let's set the quality to 9, okay? Then we're going to do the exact same thing. We'll put them in a new folder this time, though. Just to keep things organized, hit Run. Perfect, and you can see that this time, if we go back to our images, and we actually compare them, here's Ryan's Guide 2, And here's the original JPEGs. Here on the right is our first JPEG, which we exported at a quality of 8, and here's the one at a quality of 9. So if you look really, really closely here, you can see there's more compression going on around the letters than around the letters in this one. So it's a very subtle difference, but it's going to make your images and your text slightly sharper when you actually export things, although the files are also going to be larger. So we'll do the same thing again. Go up to File, Automate, PDF Presentation. We're going to hit Browse, find our new exported JPEGs here, Ryan's Guide 2, grab all of these, open, then we're going to hit Save. We're going to call it something new, go to Compression, same thing, we can set the image quality to high, maybe this time, pixels to 72, and save PDF. Now, a lot of this is just kind of going back and forth and testing and kind of finding the best compromise between small size, especially if you're emailing this, and sharpest possible quality. So you're just going to have to kind of play with these settings, go back and forth, and see what the best kind of solution you can find for your specific version of Photoshop is. Every version of Photoshop has slightly different compression settings, and so you'll need to find the sweet spot for you. But overall, don't concern yourself too much. If it looks pretty good and it's not too huge, well, that's good enough. So here's our new PDF. That's 2.1 megabytes, so a little bit bigger. Let's open it up. And we're looking a little bit sharper now. I would continue to play with this, maybe get it a little bit sharper. I could even go up to maybe 3.5 megabytes, and that would still be fine to send in an email. But for the sake of this demonstration, you understand, you are equipped to go out and do it yourself. And really, that's all there is to it from beginning to end, creating your very own birth photography magazine guide. So I hope that this tutorial has answered any questions and been really helpful for you. That's the goal, is to make this template super, super easy. If you have questions that haven't been addressed, make sure to reach out to us. And hey, if you are interested in more templates, more guides, resources, and training, make sure to head to signatureedits.com. We have a photography marketing school online that you can enroll in that will give you all sorts of classes, templates, and courses for a very, very low price. It'll teach you everything from website SEO to Instagram to Pinterest marketing, everything you could possibly need when it comes to building and growing your very own photography business and getting more clients. All right, thank you so much for your purchase, and all the best and good luck with your new guide. Take care.